And we're back. You're listening to What About Nutrition with David Gall, Mr. Nutrition from O'Fallon Nutrition, located on the South Service Road, otherwise known as Veterans Memorial Parkway in O'Fallon, Missouri, which is just on the west side of O'Fallon, close to, I say JJ's Restaurant. We know those folks, and you're kind of behind that.
Yeah, JJ's is on the corner of our shopping plaza, and it's definitely a popular place here in O'Fallon, and we're in the middle, I always tell people,
yeah, you're in the
blue
middle.
Awning.
Yeah, the middle and the blue awning, correct. Very good, and an excellent store, by the way. O'Fallon Nutrition, David Gall. We talked last segment about cooking and that sort of thing,
Yep.
And we're still on the subject of summertime fun, and sometimes it's not so fun if you don't know what you're doing, and you've got an excellent second half to this program.
Well, that's right. There's been something that's been bugging me, Steve. Oh, we're about to make a pun. So today we're talking about natural bug repellents here in part 2. So in part 1 we talked about grilled meats and what they can create that are not so good for us, but how we can mitigate it. Now we're going to talk about those gnarly little bugs that bother us during the summer. So natural bug repellents. Well, why? I mean, we all know that, good old bug sprays work pretty well as far as repelling insects. We also all know that they contain DEET. And so let's get right into it. I'd like to point out the United States Environmental Protection Agency states that, quote, after completing a comprehensive reassessment of DEET, EPA concluded that as long as consumers follow label directions and take proper precautions, insect repellents containing DEET do not present a health concern.
But
human exposure is expected to be brief, and long-term exposure is not expected, according to the EPA. So they think that the quote-unquote normal use of DEET does not present a health concern to the general population. This was published in 1998. However, Steve, and now I found this interesting, on the same website, the EPA goes on to provide a list of standard safety precautions to employ when using DEET. And remember, they said that, taking proper precautions was part of them saying that it was safe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's talk for a moment about how to use DEET products safely and what the EPA's website says you should be concerned about when using it.
we don't have all day.
Right. So, okay. They say read and follow all directions and precautions, no problem there. But listen to this, and I'm thinking about kids, for example, when I talk about some of these.
Mm-hmm.
Do not apply over cuts, wounds, or irritated skin. Do not apply to hands or near eyes and mouth of young children. Do not allow young children to apply this product. Do not use under clothing. After returning indoors, wash treated skin with soap and water. Wash treated clothing before wearing it again. Use of this product may cause skin reactions in rare cases. Do not spray in enclosed areas. So does that mean in your house? So there's a number of pretty scary sounding precautions from my perspective, like don't apply over irritated skin. Well, it's pretty common to have some sort of irritated skin when you're outdoors in the woods, isn't it? Well, so moving on. We'll acknowledge DEET works, and the EPA does say it's safe. However, we have that pretty scary list of precautions directly from the EPA's own website. Oh, and here's what the National Institute for Health says about DEET on its Medline website. It says that persons applying DEET to their skin may get hives or have mild redness and irritation. Persons who use very high concentrations of DEET on their skin over a long period of time, such as military personnel or game wardens, may have more severe skin reactions that include blistering, burning, and permanent scars of the skin. Other symptoms associated with long-term use of high amounts of DEET, over 50% concentration, include insomnia and mood changes. They also pointed out that when small amounts of DEET are swallowed by mouth, symptoms may include moderate to severe stomach irritation, nausea, vomiting, low blood pressure and low heart rates may occur if a large amount is swallowed. And then the National Institute of Health goes on to state that by far the most serious and devastating complication of large DEET poisonings is neurological damage. Patients may have disorientation, clumsiness when walking, seizures, or coma. Death is possible in these cases. And then finally, the NIH on the Medline website states that DEET is especially dangerous for small children. Seizures may occur in small children that are consistently exposed to DEET on their skin for long periods of time. Care should be taken to only apply lower concentrations of DEET to children for short periods of time. Products containing DEET probably should not be used on infants. Okay. That's the National Institute
Right.
of Health. So the EPA says it's safe, but they give us a list of precautions. The National Institute of Health tells us that. You know, I'm going to go ahead and point out that they also state that DEET's most significant benefit is its ability to repel potentially disease-carrying insects and ticks.
Yeah,
So-
and mosquitoes and ticks especially.
Right. So this is like important, and I want to basically point out that DEET works as an insect repellent. The EPA says that it is safe if you use these precautions, but there's some pretty significant precautions and pretty significant side effects if not used correctly.
And you know people don't take these precautions.
Right.
You just know it's not going to happen.
I mean, how many of these folks know all these issues with
Yeah.
don't let children apply it, don't let it get on the face of children.
Wash the clothes afterwards.
After you
and,
use it. Right. And so, you know, wouldn't it be cool if there were natural repellents and maybe if they actually worked? Well, again, we talked about the Badger sunscreens a few weeks ago, which I'm pleased to say are currently, again, top rated this year in 2011 by the Environmental Working Group. But anyways, regarding the Badger anti-bug balm and shake and spray insect repellent, those are USDA certified organic products. And according to Badger themselves, their anti-bug products have been third-party lab tested and show high efficacy up to 3 hours for mosquitoes and stable flies. And I'm going to go ahead and jump forward just a touch and actually tell you folks about some of this here on a testimonial. I thought this was fascinating. I'm not going to read too many testimonials on this show, but I thought this one was cool. So this is somebody that wrote into Badger's website. It says, just wanted to let you know what a great product the Badger Anti-Bug Balm is. I spent 2 weeks birding in Peru this July. For 9 of those days, I was in the Amazon basin, the most biodiverse place on the planet. I went armed with my Badger Balm instead of the DEET repellents, and Badger Balm did not let me down. Whether we encountered mosquitoes, chiggers, or the strangest no-see-ums, the balm protected me. 2 of the birding guides, who were Peruvian, asked to borrow the balm, not the DEET products other birders were carrying. And as I mentioned to you, I read an NIH study that said natural products are just as effective at controlling insects as the DEET products, so no more DEET for me. Besides, the balm smells a heck of a lot better. That was Lisa from Atlanta that wrote into Badger's website.
Wow.
So, Badger states it's a tried and true formulation. It's blended to strike fear in the hearts of biting insects everywhere. It smells good, feels good, soothes dry skin, and really works without D. Badger Bill, one of the famous employees there at Badger, personally tested this concept in Tamil Nadu, India, where the malaria mosquito is particularly fierce, and in the biting fly wilderness of the Georgia Okefenokee Swamp. He found it both pleasant to use and very effective at preventing bites. It meets EPA 25B minimum risk exempt requirements. I also have another cool little shorter testimonial. Just wanted to let you know how much I love the anti-bug balm. I use it on my horses, and they love it too. This person goes on to state, there's nothing that really works on horses more than 5 minutes, except your anti-bug balm. My horses are 2 Clydesdales and a Percheron. Harry, Breezy, and Miracle. They say thank you very much. So products like this have ingredients like castor oil, citronella, cedar, lemongrass, rosemary, geranium. Now, I don't have time to bring up all the studies on this today, but if you Google or go to PubMed, you'll find numerous studies that look at things like citronella, geranium, and various other herb oils and essential oils. And basically, they make a big difference, Steve.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My text message thing is going off here, but it's all good business. I just looked at it and my jaw dropped. That's good. A client wants to spend $1,000 in 3 days. So that's
Oh
good.
man!
So-
Well, that's some good news. That'll buy a lot of bug repellents. Steve.
I was just saying it just in case. I am really intrigued by this Badger stuff because I had never heard of this.
Right.
Ever. And I'm sitting here wondering if I had a choice to get DEET, something with DEET in it,
Yep.
or this, it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
I really do think it's a no-brainer, and I think that if somebody wanted to be really conservative, and if they feel like they want to have all their bases covered, and they're willing to perhaps use DEET, we've had some customers that use the DEET products for extreme situations, extreme deep woods experiences, things of that nature, but use the natural repellents for all of their other needs. And frankly, the natural repellents are quite effective, and there are studies that back that up. And like some of those people said in the testimonials, they do smell good. And things like the balm, they stick to your body and stay on. So for at least 3 hours, you've got really good protection with those types of products. And I just think it's so important, especially in the case of kids. With these products, you don't have to worry about them getting rubbed around. If a little bit gets near the mouth, it's not the end of the world. You have far, far fewer warnings to worry about. And, who knows? There may be even further studies in the future that show us things about DEET that we're not aware of yet, but that remains to be seen. But, I just think it's really important. And maybe to tie it back into the natural sun care for a moment, this is a way that we can avoid increasing toxicity in our body. There's a concept known as overall toxic load. And basically this concept is this idea that you've got a variety of different toxic compounds coming into your body every day, from the food you eat, from the things you put on your skin, etc. And the philosophy states that there's an overall toxic load that the body can deal with, specifically the liver, and eventually you kind of cross some sort of threshold where you start to develop problems, let's say. So basically this concept looks at what if you were to pull out some of the toxic things in your body. Of course, we can't all worry about everything, but we can look at certain things like, let's say, dirty water is an obvious example.
Okay.
If you drank dirty water that came out of a cesspool in somebody's backyard versus, good old purified water, well, what's better? Probably the purified water because it's bringing less toxicity into your body. Well, same thing here. If we can avoid certain toxic compounds found in sunblocks or certain toxic compounds that are found in insect repellents or certain toxic compounds that are found in shampoo, I could go on all day, but you kind of get the point. The point is to reduce your overall toxic load. You may not be able to address everything, but you can pick and choose your battles. You can choose to get, that one piece of organic fruit instead of that other one, and that's a little bit less toxicity coming into your body on a daily basis.
That's a good point. I mean, your liver, you have only one liver.
Right, and it can only do so much work.
Yeah.
So, and if we compare to 100 years ago, maybe there were half a dozen chemicals coming into our body at any one time. Nowadays, there's thousands of chemicals coming into our body. The liver has a lot more to do, basically.
Fascinating. So pick and choose your battles,
That's
as they
right.
say. Folks, O'Fallon Nutrition is located in O'Fallon, Missouri. What's your phone number over there, David?
636-240-5283, and the website is www.o'fallonnutrition.com. And again, I encourage everybody to check out our reference room on the website and look at all the cool information that you can look up there.
Another great show. Two great topics here for summertime. Dave, thanks for being our guest as we head in towards the 4th of July weekend, and it's just good to have you on this weekend on Westplex Radio.
Very exciting, Steve. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you. That's Mr. Nutrition, David Gall of O'Fallon Nutrition. And it's www.o'fallonnutrition.com, everybody. We'll see you next weekend right here on Westplex Radio. Steve Casper saying bye-bye for now.